I'm Corinne Crawford, and this is our back to school presentation in lieu of a traditional back to school night. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this little video through to the end. Let me start by introducing myself. This is my 15th year teaching. I have been lucky enough to have taught all of those 15 years here at Catheryn Gates. I started my career as an RSP teacher and did that for 8 years, and then I've taught 4th grade ever since then. I grew up and still live in Lincoln. Of course, I moved away for a short time, college and whatnot. In addition to a 6th grade daughter, we have goats and cows and chickens here on our property. Your kids will get to see quite a bit of that as the year goes on. It's one of the perks of doing this virtual learning. As those of you with older kids already know, 4th grade is a super exciting year. One thing that makes it so fun is we get to learn about California history, and we'll have to work especially hard to make sure that your kids get to really experience that and see all that California has to offer. The first thing I want to tell you about is a materials pickup. You've probably already received communication about this, but there will be a materials pickup. Please make note of these dates. They're going to be Tuesday, August 11th and Wednesday, August 12th. These materials are going to be really important because we do not want your students sitting on the computer for 6 hours a day. So although they can access many of the materials virtually, it would be fantastic for them to have hard copies of things in front of them. So some things that you'll be picking up will be math, activity books, and homework workbooks, a whiteboard and a marker and some graph paper, our benchmark readers that your kiddos used in 3rd grade, and a class novel that we'll be reading together. I'll be providing a writer's notebook, and then our social studies text as well. So it's not necessary to go school supply shopping until we come back to school in person, but I know that lots of shops are having things on sale right now. So I wanted to make sure that you had the supply list in your hands in case you wanted to shop the sales. If we don't return to school in person, these are all things that your child can use this year and the next. So I suggest having them on hand. And just a little tip, if your student is doing their schoolwork in a shared environment like the dining room or something like that, I would suggest that maybe they could use their backpack from last year and pack it up with their school materials, and then they can put that away in the evening, and then the next morning when they start school, they can unpack their backpack. It would kind of feel normal and make a good routine. So here's the part you've all been waiting for. This is our schedule. If you want to pause the video and take a closer look, feel free. We will be starting our day every day at 8:45 with a live Zoom meeting. So this is going to look very different than last year, the end of the year. I'll take attendance in that meeting in the morning. We'll have a quick class meeting, and then the rest of the day is chunked into times where I'll be teaching live lessons. We'll be using Zoom. And then those live lessons will be followed with some independent work. So some of the independent work will be on the computer. Some of it will be off of the computer using those materials that you pick up next week. So remember, it's really important that you pick up those materials. So on this schedule, if the box says instruction, that means that I am teaching a lesson to the whole class over Zoom. The boxes that say small group, that's when I'm going to take turns meeting with students in small groups, also over Zoom. So one section that I really want to highlight is the 20 minutes of independent reading. You'll find it right after lunch. So it's up to you if you and your child want to read every day at that time, or you could read at a different time. If your child prefers to read before bed, they can do that time before bed. But this makes it a nice 1-hour block between 11:45 and then our next live lesson at 12:45. So I thought that's important time away, scheduled away from the computer. Our goal is for all 4th graders to read for 30 minutes every day. But I haven't built in, you'll notice, just 20 minutes just to get them started. Okay, and I hope that helps. So the schedule and links to all of this live instruction will be available through your students to your students through OTIS, which is our new student management system. I will be sending the Zoom links out via email as we get started, so that you have those as well. So OTIS is something new this year, and it's going to replace the Google Classroom that we used last year. So students will have access to live instruction from me. They'll also have access to PE and music. They'll be getting live instruction according to that schedule that you just saw. They'll receive messages and feedback from me. They'll complete their assignments and independent work through OTIS, providing everything works correctly, and they can also take tests there in OTIS. So along the lines of assessments, I have a request for you. And I realize after having my own daughter learning from home last year, she was a 5th grader, that this is going to be challenging. But I'm going to ask that when your child is doing a quiz, a test, or an assessment, that you refrain from helping them. I'm going to be using the assessment information to inform my teaching, to form small groups. So if it doesn't reflect what your child knows on their own, it won't be an accurate measure of what they need from me for their teaching. So I'm going to ask again that you just don't help them. And if they don't know it, that's important for me to know. Okay? Okay, so back to the slides. In OTIS, you will have access to student grades. You'll be able to track your student progress. You can watch the videos instruction if you are helping with an assignment or some extra practice. And you can see your child's participation, how they're doing, what they're doing, etc. So school-wide expectations. So our goal this year is for everyone to really feel like they're at school or receiving the same education. So as you can see from that schedule, we're going to work really hard to have active engagements. The end of last year might have felt a little bit more like independent study than actual school. So we are not going to be doing that for starting off the year. So that being said, just like regular school, if your student is going to be missing a day or part of a day of instruction, I'm going to ask that you report their absence to the office by calling that in. Now, your student will be able to access recorded video lessons of all the live instructions. So if they don't make it on time or they need to watch it a little bit later in the day, all of that will be available. So that's really an advantage of this virtual learning. It's our expectation that every student finds a distraction-free workspace to do school, whether that's a desk in their room, the dining room table, just somewhere set that they can use every day. And again, if they need to set up for the day and then put their things away, that's okay too. Because we'll be doing a lot of this via video, I'm asking that kids be dressed and ready for school. They're presentable, not in their jammies. When they log on, I hope that they have all their materials ready to go and that they would be using the scheduled break times. Those would be the good times for eating and snacking and using the restroom so that they don't actually get up and miss the instruction. Our hope is that students would be joining instruction sessions on time. So all of those live instruction sessions and any times that I've scheduled individually or with small groups, I would hope that they can join on time. We'll be working a lot on that at the beginning of the year. It's our hope that they have their technology devices charged and ready to go or plugged in. Okay, I have a link here, but I know you can't access it on this video. So this is an article that I will send home in email just with some more tips. So again, if your student misses a live lesson or joins late, those lessons will be recorded and posted on OTIS in the calendar, and we'll be working on showing kids how to access that. So the first day of school, which is Monday, August 10th, just like our usual Monday, it's going to be a minimum day. So the instruction will end at 1:45. And we will be following that schedule that you saw only loosely because I won't be giving as much instruction as we will later on because we're going to spend these first couple of weeks just really getting to know each other. and building a community even though we are apart. So keep in mind that we're all still learning how to teach remotely, and I appreciate and respect that, and I hope that we can treat each other with grace and flexibility, because we're gonna have some bumps in the road. So with time and patience, we'll all be successful. So we'll really start formal curriculum, like I said, in about 2 weeks. And that's when we'll start really our formal schedule. So I'll start all new activities during one of those scheduled instruction blocks so that they can practice logging in and getting used to the schedule overall. Students will also need to build their stamina after summer break. So with these first couple of weeks, you'll notice breaks might be longer and independent work is a little bit less rigorous than it will be as we go on. Going forward, you're receiving this via email. Email is going to be the best way for us to communicate. So if you need to set up a meeting, you need help with something, or you have questions about work or your child, email me and I will set up a time. We can chat, we can talk, we can meet over Zoom so we can see each other face to face, or I can email back answers to any questions that you might have. Okay. I'm going to send an email Friday evening, August 7th, that contains important information for Monday. Just in case we have some technology difficulties, I want to make sure that you and your student have the link for our Zoom meeting, and it's going to begin at 8:45. So I'm going to ask that your kids be ready to go at 8:45 on Monday, as will I. If you don't receive an email from me on Friday, please send me an email letting me know. Maybe we have your email wrong, it's not up to date. I need to know that, okay? So in the future, the district is setting up a policy that you should expect responses from teachers within 24 hours. So if you send an email to me and you don't get a response in 24 hours, that means somehow I've lost sight of that email message. So please send it again. You won't be bothering me. Okay, the reason I'm going to email those links on Monday is just in case your child has a problem logging into OTIS. You can practice over the weekend, but I don't want there to be any freak out moments on Monday. If it doesn't work, you'll have that all via email. All right, lastly, I'm excited about getting to know you and your fourth grader this year. I would love it if you could help me get a jump start on getting to know your child by filling out a form to share some more information with me. It's a lengthy form, I know. If you could just give me as much information as you can or as you're willing to share, I appreciate every little bit of it. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see your students on Monday morning, August 10th at 8:45. Via Zoom.